They're trying to limit fighting in hockey, but I mean, it's always going to be a thing, and you can't really prevent it, especially if there's like a bad hit or something. But I mean, it's probably needed that they should crack down a bit because there's guys that just go out there and fight, and I mean, maybe one or two every couple games, but there shouldn't be a lot of fights happening every single game. So.
You know, the back in the day where you square up at center ice and everyone stands on their feet and you go, I think they're trying to take those out of the game, which I agree with, because I don't really see a point for that anymore in the games. If you need that to get motivation to win a game, you're probably playing it for the wrong reasons. But just in heat of the moments in a battle or in something like that, you know, I think there's plenty of room for fighting left in the game for that type of stuff.
We didn't have any fighting rules, so I was around some pretty tough guys, and there was a lot of tough guys on every team. I was actually talking about it today with my roommate. Coming into the league, there was probably at least 2 or 3 guys on each team that had 20 or plus more fights, or even more, and so there was definitely that component was part of the game, or at least more so at that time. And I think that it's still there. It's just not senseless fighting. It's not just going out and fighting just to fight, just because you're the fighter. I think more it's now sticking up for your teammates and stuff like that. And so I think the way it's going, it looks like eventually it might be weeded out of the game, and it is what it is. Everybody has their own opinion about that, but it's definitely changed from year 1 to year 5, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. When I first came into the league, they didn't have that fighting rule, and then now it's down all the way to 3, and just even on our team, there's been way less fights.
Well, obviously there's not as much of a role for like the so-called goon or someone who can't play the game, just there to fight. So with the new rule, only 3 fights, it's obviously eliminating that sort of players.
Of course it's different this year. I know, like, in the summer reading up about it, like, yeah, this is going to be a really different year with only 3 fights. But I think if you look, like what I said, like with the big hits, I think guys are looking at each other, they're not squaring up, it's more like a headlock competition and stuff. So I guess it's just feeling out process right now with the 3 fight rule.
I mean, obviously they're trying to take it out as much as they can, but at the end of the day, it's just a rule you have to follow. So whether you agree with it or you don't, it's still part of the game, and one person's not going to change it. So obviously, I don't know. I agree with it. I mean, if they want to take it away, they take it away. But I mean, it's just another rule that we have to follow and adjust to it to our playing style.
Well, personally, that going down to 3 fights is, you know, it's a little iffy to the age group now. I think we still have, you know, physical players in our league that, you know, strive off, you know, a fight, and, you know, your teammates can rally off a fight. And with only 3 fights in the league, I think a couple games can be just a place to play where it's not active with physicality. When it comes to a game, when fighting's a part of the game, you can't not teach guys to be a part of a game that it's not physical. Other than that, I think the 3 fight rule this year will bring down the fighting.
I don't fight too often, but I think I mean, so I don't really worry about the fighting rule too much. But as a stay-at-home defenseman, I mean, it's you still get you know, you can still be physical and not get called all the time for everything. So I still appreciate that part of the game. But I think fighting needs to stay in the game. I do understand where they're going with knocking down the amount of fights you're allowed, but I think fights shouldn't be taken out of the game fully, for sure, just from my point of view as a shutdown defenseman.
I think it just makes you choose your spots a little bit more. You can't really just fight, you know, to get the guys going anymore. Fights are going to be more important when, you know, you're protecting a teammate or something like that.
Another thing is fighting is reduced a lot compared to the 70s. I mean, I think they want to see more of a finesse game and see better and smaller players probably come into the league, which is good, I think, because it just helps with the flow of the game. And I mean, still, like, 3 fights, you can still have 3 fights all year, and just if you have to stick up for a guy, it's still there for you. But I'm glad that they reduced the fights.
Yeah, I think they should have kept it the way it was last year. I think 10 wasn't a nice limit. I mean, 3 you can't really work with it personally. Not to say that I'm a huge fighter, or like you need to have 2 fights a game, but I mean, 10 is a good limit, I think, because you're going to need to step up at some times, and I feel like people are scared to fight now because they don't want to get suspended and be out of the lineup.
I feel like there's a time and place for fighting, for sure.
when they're taking liberties on, say, like a younger guy or a smaller guy, you need to stick up for your teammates. But I feel like there should be a rule in place to protect the guys that don't want to fight. So I don't know. Don't really have an opinion on it. If there's pros and cons for it, for sure.
I think kind of little. I think that if one of the star players on the team gets hit and a guy on your team already has 3 fights, you can't really jump in to help protect them. So I think the 10-fight rule is a bit better because you could do that and you would have more freedom to do that. But I think that, like I said, they're trying to take fighting out of the game. So by reducing it little bits at a time, I think it's going to eventually be down to 0 fights.
Well, it's just defending a teammate, for example. If you've already maxed out on your fights, well, sometimes you can't do what you'd want to do or what's right to do, just for the sake that you might get suspended out of it. But at the same time, they're trying to take it away, so it's not much you can do about it. So just try to play as clean as you can, and that stuff won't happen.
I mean, as a player, I feel like I'm one of those guys who I like to be a bruiser and I like to hit guys and fight here and there. And knowing that that's going to change is pretty it's pretty weird to see, to be honest.
The game is changing with faster players. It's more depth lineups. Physicality in the game is getting out of place with the only 3-fight rule too. So. Other than that, the game now is speed and speed only.
Same thing. I mean, speed. I mean, it's. I think where it's at now, it's probably going to be like that for a while. I mean, it's going to be hard to change it even more because of just the way the game is right now. But I mean, if you look back to 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it's definitely changed dramatically. But I think for the future, it's going to be a lot about speed and a lot about playmaking, which is the way it's going towards to right now. So definitely probably like that. And like I said, speed's going to keep going faster and faster.
The game, I think, you're just going to see guys get faster and the fighting almost completely gone. I think there's still a spot for it in the game now, but in the future there may not be as guys just get faster and more skilled, and even 4th line guys are going to have that speed and skill.
I just think it's going to keep getting faster. Obviously, with all the stuff coming out about injuries, stuff like that, the more rules they're going to start to restrict that type of player. So it's the faster you can be, the smarter you can be, obviously going to benefit you in the future.
Everyone likes to watch hockey, it's intense and everything, so I think in the future hockey going to be like it's still going to be always first sport and everything. Everyone going to like to play hockey, and I think during in maybe 10 years or something, I think there's probably not going to be hitting and not a lot of hitting and fights a lot, probably not like that. So I think it's going to be more skills and try to more goals and everything like this. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think that if kids come out to OHL games and they see 3 fights a game, then I think that the little kids are going to think that that's okay to do in their own league. So I think that if they come and maybe see one, probably not even see one, that I think it'll eliminate that from their minds when they get older to play in the OHL or even in the NHL.
I feel like eventually fighting's just going to be out of the game, and because it's just slowly going away every year. They change the rules, there's suspensions and how you can fight in helmets, take off helmets, all those rules. I mean, if you look at it 10 years ago, I mean, you could take your helmets off and line up for a fight, and you can't even do that anymore. So, I mean, now with the 3-fight rule, I feel like eventually it's just going to be eliminated out of junior hockey and then probably eventually out of the National Hockey League too.
I feel like it's going to be a lot similar to ours. I feel like the game now, it's really entertaining to watch. A lot of speed, a lot of skill. Still physical, still fights, and I just feel like it's a good combination of all the things that people want to watch.